Why is the sea blue, but the water in your glass clear? Why do mushrooms fight chemical wars like mafia bosses in the forest? Why do cats always land on their feet, while llamas, well, they'd rather spit in your face? The world is full of mysteries. Some are fascinating, some are deadly serious, and some are just plain weird. Today, we're diving into the strangest whys, the hidden logic behind the things you thought you already understood. Why is the sea blue and the water in a glass clear? The truth is, water really is blue. But in a glass, the color is so faint your eyes can't catch it. It's like water's best-kept secret. And in big reservoirs, they borrow a trick from the sky, reflecting its color and wearing it like a borrowed suit. Why is the center of the universe in Tulsa? No, really, Tulsa, Oklahoma claims it. It's a tiny 75-centimeter circle of concrete nicknamed the center of the universe. Stand in the middle and your voice booms back at you, amplified. But step outside the circle, suddenly, it's garbled nonsense. It's part science, part mystery, and let's be honest, part great marketing for Tulsa. Why do mushrooms poison each other? Think forests are peaceful? Not underground. Mushrooms wage chemical wars, releasing toxins to kill off rival fungi and claim turf. The fight is so brutal that one mushroom gas was even used as a weapon in World War I. Imagine going out for a stroll and realizing the cutest mushroom patch is basically a battlefield. Why do tsunamis occur? They're born from massive underwater earthquakes, landslides, or volcanic explosions. Sometimes, even giant chunks of ice collapsing into the sea spark the so-called mega tsunamis. And here's the unsettling part. We still can't predict them accurately. They strike with little warning, proving nature doesn't like to play fair. Why shouldn't we take a starfish out of the water? Starfish breathe by pumping water through their bodies. Take one out, and it sucks in air it can't get rid of. Put it back in the sea, and it can no longer sink or breathe. It dies slowly. And here's the plot twist. Starfish are practically immortal. Unless killed, they don't age the way we do. Their only weakness? Humans who treat them like toys. And yes, their tiny nervous system makes them the real-life Patrick Star. Just not quite as funny. Why do you see colored circles when rubbing your eyes? Those flashes and shapes when you press your eyes aren't magic. It's your retina and optic nerve being tricked. The brain interprets the pressure as light signals. So congratulations, you've been hallucinating since childhood. Why is chewing gum hard to digest? Because it's made of a rubbery plastic base. Your stomach acid can handle flavors, sweeteners, and colors, but the gum itself? It passes through like an uninvited guest. No, it doesn't live in your stomach for 7 years. It just exits with a little dignity intact. Why does music give us goosebumps? Your nervous system takes music way too personally. Emotional sounds trigger hair follicle muscles to contract, hence goosebumps. So, when a song gives you chills, it's literally your body saying, wow, this slaps. Why does watermelon float? It's not magic, it's density. A watermelon is mostly water, but its porous flesh makes it lighter than the water it's floating in. So yes, it's heavier than a football, but drop it in a pool, and it's basically a life raft with seeds. Why is mercury a liquid? Most metals have high melting points. Mercury's is minus 38.83 degrees centigrade, which is so low that at room temperature it's liquid. Cool, yes, but also dangerous. It evaporates toxic fumes just sitting there. So while it looks like a futuristic silver drain dome, why do people get fat with age? Metabolism slows down, even if you keep the same lifestyle. Plus, adulthood often means more desk work and less running around. Basically, life promotes you to a higher status, but your waistline gets the race. Why is seawater salty? Rivers wash salts from rocks and carry them to the ocean. Water evaporates, salt stays, and over millions of years, the sea becomes a giant salty soup. Fun fact, every year, rivers add just 1/16 millionth of the salt in the oceans. Tiny, but unstoppable. Why do muscles grow after working out? Because when you lift, you're tearing them apart, literally. Fibers break, and as they heal, they grow back thicker and stronger. So yes, pain is gain. Why do cats always land on their feet? Cats are built like ninjas. No collarbones, flexible spines, and a killer balance system. Even kittens master this trick by a few weeks old. Gravity tries to embarrass them, but cats flip mid-air just to prove a point. Why do we stretch after sleeping? Sleep slows your blood flow and relaxes your muscles. Stretching restarts circulation, sends signals to your brain, and tells your body, hey, wake up, it's Monday. Why are pills different colors? It's partly psychology. Bright colors make pills feel more effective and make them easier to tell apart. So yes, your brain thinks a red pill might actually work faster than a white one. Why do restaurants give mint gum? It's not a passive-aggressive hint about your breath. Mint calms your stomach, reduces bloating, and helps digestion. Restaurants just want you leaving happy and maybe not blaming their food later. Why does chocolate make you feel good? Chocolate contains tryptophan, which boosts serotonin, your brain's happiness chemical. So technically, your doctor could prescribe chocolate. And honestly, they should. Why are auroras multicolored? Different gases in the atmosphere glow different colors when hit by solar particles. Oxygen gives us greens and reds, while hydrogen and helium paint the sky in blues and purples. It's like the universe's own neon light show. Why did pirates wear eye patches? Not all pirates, sailors in general did. An eye patch kept one eye adjusted to darkness. On deck it's blindingly bright, but below deck it's pitch black. Lift the patch, and boom, instant night vision. Why do dogs wag their tails? It's their way of broadcasting feelings and scent. Wagging spreads their personal signature from a gland under the tail. Happy? Scared? Either way, the tail's doing PR work. Why does sound travel better after rain? Rain clears dust from the air, making sound waves travel farther. But in fog, sound gets trapped and muffled. So rain helps you eavesdrop, fog helps you hide. Choose wisely. Why does fire stop fire? In wildfires, firefighters sometimes burn a strip of land ahead of the flames. With nothing left to burn, the advancing fire starves out. It's like fighting fire with smarter fire. Why is 42 degrees centigrade the fatal body temperature? At that point, proteins in your body start to denature, like eggs turning solid in boiling water. Your brain, blood, and organs literally break down. It's biology's hard stop button. Why do people close their eyes while kissing? To avoid sensory overload. A kiss floods the brain with signals. Shutting the eyes helps the body focus on emotion instead of fainting. Plus, let's be honest, it's way less awkward. Why don't sharks sleep? Some species must keep swimming or they suffocate. Others take short rests, but never a full, deep sleep. Dolphins take it a step further. They shut down half their brain at a time, literally sleeping with one eye open. Creepy? Yes. Effective? Absolutely. Why don't birds fall when they sleep on branches? Bird leg tendons lock when they crouch. Sleeping actually keeps their grip tight. That's why you'll never see a pigeon snoring flat on the sidewalk. Why do llamas spit? To settle disputes and warn off intruders. They can launch spit up to 3 meters. Impressive range, questionable etiquette. So if a llama aims at you, you probably deserved it. Why don't eyes freeze in winter? Blood flow keeps them warm, and the salty tears act like antifreeze. Your nose might freeze, but your eyeballs? Safe. Why don't wolves perform in circuses? Because wolves rely on pack bonds. Alone, they panic and refuse to cooperate. You can train a lion, maybe even a bear, but a wolf without its pack is like a Wi-Fi signal without a router. Why does food taste bad after brushing teeth? Toothpaste has sodium lauryl sulfate, which numbs sweet taste buds and enhances bitterness. That's why orange juice after brushing tastes like betrayal. Why shouldn't we throw away batteries? One single battery can contaminate 400 liters of water with toxic metals. Recycling saves ecosystems, and honestly, your future self. Why are cats afraid of water? They descend from African wildcats, where water was rare. Instinct says, avoid swimming at all costs. Add in their dense fur that soaks like a sponge, and you get a lifelong phobia. Why do we have 12 months in a year? Because there are about 12 lunar cycles in one solar year. Ancient people counted moons, and that rhythm stuck. So your calendar is basically just really old astronomy. Why is it easier to swim in salt water? Salt makes water denser. Objects float more easily when they displace a liquid heavier than themselves. Which means, floating in the Dead Sea isn't magic. It's physics giving you a free pool float. From oceans to galaxies, from cats to llamas, from chocolate to circuses, every why hides a story. And sometimes, the answer is stranger, funnier, or darker than we expect. The world is one giant puzzle, and every day, it dares us to ask why. Now I want to hear from you. Which why blew your mind the most? And which one do you still think has no good explanation? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And let's see if we can solve the unsolvable together. We've only scratched the surface of these mysteries. And of course, if you love unraveling the hidden logic behind life's strangest puzzles, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next mystery.